So this case, the patient is side-lying. And by the way, all of these side-lying moves that I'm doing right now, super easy to do with a patient draped on the table, right? It's not like you need to have them in clothes. You got to do this after the treatment, after they've changed. And even when I'm going to show you some of the SI mobilizations, the patient is side-lying and I'm manipulating the hip and things like that, it doesn't have to be, you know, it could be with sheets on. You're just going to cover the patient. You're not even going to remove the sheets. In this case, I would probably remove the sheets. All right, so our patient's going to be in the side-lying position. With this rotation, we've got two different ways I can do this. One with a stabilizing component. So again, here's my setup. I'm going to stabilize the superior segment. So if I'm going to cause this pelvis to rotate, in this case, down towards the table, I want to stop the superior segment from going along for the ride. So I'm going to pin that superior segment down into the table while I reach under and hook onto the spinous process adjacent inferior to it, and I'm going to pull that guy into rotation. So you can imagine here would be my setup on one, pushing down into the table. Here's the other guy underneath, and with my forearm draped over the ilium, I'm going to rotate that guy just like this. Cool. In your case, maybe not a guy. So from here, I'm going to put this into place. That way I can stabilize. Stabilizing here, pushing down, whatever point of contact you want to use. Middle finger happens to be my favorite. I don't know why, but it is. And then from here, I'm going to hook underneath, and then I'm going to rotate the pelvis with my forearm as I take the spinal segment with me with this mobilization hand firmly pressed against the lateral side of the spinous process. And there's my movement. I can oscillate that through once I get to kind of end range, or I can keep it right there and hang out right there. So in this case here, if we do the first one that we did, I'm going to set up shop right there. Again, the anterior surface against the ribs because it's uncomfortable any other way. I'm going to find the spinal segment in question. Then I'm going to stabilize the superior one to that. Bang, pushing it down into the table. The segment in question, I'm hooking underneath it. Forearm draped along the ilium. And then from here, I'm going to do this move. Cool. And once I get to that end part, I can oscillate that through. So I'm oscillating it through, not the stabilization. I'm oscillating it through the segment that I want the rotation to happen. I want that lateral gliding to happen. So in this case, the inferior segment. Cool. Without the stabilization, in other words, without this pushing down, well, then my mob doesn't look all that much different other than this is stabilizing the upper torso from rotating. And there's my mob. I can also create this counter rotation. And there's my mob to enhance it even further.